calves with these guys. So keep your eyes peeled. They'll tend to be smaller and lighter in colour, sticking pretty close to the belly of mum. Now, in the wild, these guys, they can live to be about 30 years old. And in captivity, they've gotten as old as 60.
Wow.
These guys are mammals just like we are, and they have a 12-month gestational period. Now you can tell when their calves are real young, and that is because when they're in the womb they're folded up real nice and tight, almost like they're vacuum sealed. So really young calves, sort of like younger than 2 weeks, will have what we call tiger stripes on them. And that is when they have these little baby wrinkles from being folded up in the womb. Their dorsal fin will also be bent over a little bit. It'll be sort of folded in a funny shape. And that's also because when they're in the womb, it's completely folded over, so it hasn't quite straightened out yet. So now these guys have gotten nice and close. Hopefully you've had a good look at their dorsal fins. Now that is the fin that they have on their back. And as they grow up, they get all sorts of marks and cuts and scratches on them. Sort of just like the dolphin, interacting with each other and their environment and occasionally predators. But those marks, they tend to stay on the dolphins for life. And that is very handy for us. Now we've been able to work with a group called Dolphin Watch, and with their help we've been able to identify and name all of the adult dolphins between all three pods using the unique marks that are on their dorsal fins. Recognisable dolphins we sometimes see in this pod to keep an eye out for. One of them, her name is Flap, and she's an older dolphin, and at one point, probably more than a decade ago, we think, she was injured most likely by a boat prop. And her dorsal fin has been sort of cut in half, and one side is folded down like a flap. It doesn't bother her at all now, it's healed perfectly, but it does make her an easy spot. Another dolphin that we can sometimes spot, her name is Maggie, and she actually has a deformed blowhole, and that means when she comes up for air she makes a funny noise, it's like a quacking noise. So you normally hear her before you see her, but sometimes you do see her. Oh. So sometimes you might notice as these guys are swimming around, they'll stick almost their entire head out of the water and have a look. In It's called spy hopping. And their eyes are really, really good. So think about it with us, we have to wear goggles to see underwater. With these guys, they can see underwater almost just as they can see out of water almost just as well as they can see under the water. So sometimes they'll just stick their whole head out of the water and they're sort of just getting a look at what's around them. Dolphins are also one of the few animals that exhibit individual behaviours. So they'll give each other things like bits of seaweed and shells and fish bones. There's a number of people who have been able to work these guys in their natural habitat who have their own little dolphin gifts.